Jason's story is phenomenal. Jason is always at the bottom. If you think about it, he's never on top.
Like, the interest, you are not even a power bottom, just a bottom. Just a bottom. Not an alpha bottom, not a power bottom. Not no bikini bottom, just a bottom.
No, there's no pun intended, but I mean, it's just...
Hello and welcome back. We are here to get into True Blood, episodes 2 through 4. Let's explore.
So we said we wanted to talk about the characters first. We said we wanted to first talk about Sookie and Bill. So what happens with them? We know at the end of episode 1, Sookie is being beat up by the Ratcliffes, or the Rattrays. And so what happens?
Yeah, Sookie is definitely getting a beat down of her life by the end of episode 1. So when we get into 2, we see Bill come to the rescue. I don't really see Bill as a savior for real, but they kind of tried to make that work with this show. So I just don't see Bill as the muscle. But nonetheless, he comes through and saves Sookie, and then those two kind of become even more smitten with each other because he heals her.
Mm-hmm.
He heals her. So Sookie finds out a lot more about what that healing meant. That healing is getting into a little bit of kind of sexual healing. Is what she finds out. So he kind of lets her know what it means since she's had his blood.
Okay. Once she had his blood, I know that her senses were elevated. She could smell. She could smell like weird and odd things. Were there other senses that she was able to pick up on?
She was sensing in libido.
She had urge.
Longings.
Oh, she had a lot of dreams too.
Oh, very, very vivid. Nocturnal emissions. So we get to see Sookie exploring herself quite a bit across these next few episodes after having had Bill's blood.
Uh-huh. And Bill, something happens to Bill as well once he has Sookie's blood, which I thought was kind of odd, and I'll talk about it a little bit later. But once he drank her blood, that meant that anytime that she's in trouble, he could sense her.
Yes.
So she finds that out as well.
I love it. They are not my 2 favorite characters on the show, even though they are definitely like the main characters.
Yeah.
Definitely not my 2 favorite, but they are interesting to watch. A bit flat at times for me, but still entertaining.
It's the accent. That accent. Well, the accents for most of these characters are like, why? Just give me just a plain American accent. Like, I don't need that Southern accent.
When people try to do Louisiana, or the South in general, oftentimes they disappoint. So I was having this conversation earlier, like, hey, what part of Louisiana is this supposed to be in? Is the question I was asked. I said, well, Bon Temps is a fictional place within the story.
In northern Louisiana.
But they're always trying to go to Shreveport. So clearly this is somewhere near Shreveport, since they're trying to go to the vampire club there every time you turn around. And I'm like, okay, this is not a North Louisiana accent. Like, no.
Exactly. Like, you're trying to give Southern Louisiana to Northern Louisiana. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. And then they filmed in... They filmed in not far from Baton Rouge. They filmed in one of the Felicianas. I don't remember which Feliciana. I knew at the time, but so they filmed not far from Baton Rouge.
It is nothing like North Louisiana. So I was like, what?
Mm-hmm. So also in that particular episode, The First Taste, Sookie decides to go to Bill's house and she sees these 3 vampires. What happens?
Sookie, okay. So since we're hanging on Sookie and Father Bill right now, Sookie is always making dumbass decisions. And it's just like, Sookie.
I'm still on Father Bill.
Yeah, it's being honest, Methuselah. But Sookie just is not a very wise girl. It's like, Sookie, you swear that you a vampire, werewolf, lichen, you name it. You would swear that you have all of these abilities, and you don't. And you always get yourself into stuff. So she just like pops up at the spot, which is pretty much a mist at the time that she pops up there, because it's not just Bill, it's him and a triage of vampires having like a little fangbanger party that Sookie was not invited to. So she just pops up and, she's getting sniffed like, you smell real good, right for the picking, since you done showed up like a DoorDash to these people's house. So,
And how about Bill just in the corner quiet?
Bill,
what? He didn't even answer his own door. I don't understand these things.
You got Diane with her ignorant self answering the door. Like, who are you?
No, she was sexy.
She was very sexy.
She was sexy.
He was very, very sexy. But you have Sookie. First of all, y'all don't even smash it. Why'd you showing up to this man's house unannounced, Sookie? What you doing? What you doing?
He ain't got nothing else going on. He ain't got nothing else going on but True Blood.
But Sookie, like, come on now. You out here looking a little crazy showing up to this man's house.
A vampire. A vampire's house.
At nighttime. at nighttime. So she shows up, a whole nest of vampires there having a good party, but she actually saves Bill. She saves him from feeding on this little, I'm gonna call it a twink. I know that's wrong. He's feeding on this little fang banger that has Hep D.
Hep D.
Yes.
You know what? That particular episode, what is it? The first taste? That didn't seem to be too much happening. It seemed to be all about Sookie and Bill. Does that? I mean, because I didn't write too much for that particular episode.
Well, it was mostly centered around Sookie and Bill, and then
a little bit of Tara and Jason.
Their courtship, that sort of thing, getting Grand's approval and all of that. So just kind of, I guess, setting the stage for them becoming an item. So yeah, I would agree with you. I remember when I took my notes, I was like, Sookie trollops over to Bill.
She trollops.
She trollops over the Bills and finds herself in the den of vampires. I have to show you my notes. Like, yes, she trollops. I'm like, oh my god.
But wait, did she go in her car? Was that a car?
Yeah, she pulled up in that little ugly car.
I feel like they would have heard that. They're vampires. Don't they have like good hearing or whatever?
In their party, and they were worried about that little
I did want to talk about Tara. Tara wants Jason to see her, and it's almost uncomfortable. Because Jason, like, who are you? Like, it's almost like his sister. You know what I'm saying? Like, his sister and Tara grew up together. So, like, I don't know.
She's very, very smitten with Jason. And that's one of the things I had in my notes too. And I'm with you on it being uncomfortable. It's like, oh, Tara. Like, tone it down, my girl. Tone it down. She gets a chance, to show her loyalty toward Jason as we move through the episodes when he's in hot freaking water because he's in stupid ass Stackhouse.
There was another scene that I really liked with Tara. It showed just how they're always trying to show us how smart Tara is, but in this particular scene, Sam says, "What is it like? I got you your uniform," and she said, "I'm not gonna wear that uniform." And he asked, I'm paraphrasing the whole conversation at this point because I don't remember exactly what was said. And so he basically asked, well, why don't you want to wear it? And she was like, she said the uniform is all about sexism. Like you're wanting to show off women's bodies, but y'all aren't wearing the same thing. And he says, I'm the owner. And then the other guy was like, well, I paid my dues. And she's like, no, I'm not having it. I'm not doing it. It's not gonna happen.
Tara, if nothing else, is very knowledgeable. She reads books. Like even later on when she comes, she's like, did you Mirandize him? And all these things. It's like, how do you know that? Because I prefer to read books for myself as opposed to having somebody give me the knowledge. So it's just like she's very, very intelligent. So I just love to hear her work her way around conversations. Even when she said, what was it? She wanted Bill to apologize for having slaves. I was like, there she goes. Sarah wants Bill to apologize because he owned black slaves.
But it was kind of like unreal. Like he was just like, my father owned slaves, but I didn't. When your father died, who's gonna own a slave? Like, make me understand these things.
Just let him go free, huh?
Like, oh no, it wasn't me. It was my dad. No, it was the whole system. Just be like, you know what? I was gonna free him, or whatever. I was never in favor of it. Yes, I fought in the Civil War, but it was what I was supposed to do. Something. Just say something. He didn't do it. It was just like it was my father's slave. That was good enough. And I was with Tara on that.
Tara was unimpressed. Okay. She owned slaves, huh? He ain't trying to apologize or nothing.
So all right, so episode 3 is titled Mine, and so we still want to stick with Sookie and Bill first.
So Bill basically calls her mine, so the other ones don't try to feed on her, especially the way in which she came in there all wrong. It's like it was almost I feel like it would have headed in that direction to her being quote unquote his anyway, but I feel like she sped the process up when she came in there, unannounced.
Yes. Especially because it seems as if all 4 of them were part of a nest. I think that was the terminology they used. They were all part of a nest. And so Bill basically left their nest. And so they were coming to, basically get Bill back. And so that was like the most inopportune time that Sookie could have ever shown up. Ever.
She really stepped in it.
And you know what? I thought it was kind of I liked what the writers did. It sets up the idea that in the minds of vampires, humans are not equal to them, right? Because in episode 1, it was like, oh, it's all about equality. We're all the same, yada yada yada. Episode 2, nah, buddy, that's not what vampires think. This is not what they feel. So I liked what they did there. Well, you mentioned that Sookie learned that a human was allowing them to feed, and that particular human had Hep D.
Yes. So basically, Hep D is something that won't kill a vampire, but it'll subdue them and make them very vulnerable, to where they could be staked. So
now, I'm sorry.
was about to say, I feel like that made the other vampires raise an eyebrow even more. Like, how the hell she know this?
I had a question about Hep D. In the course of the show, because I just don't remember, it's been so long since I've seen it, did Hep D ever come back up again?
I don't know that it did, honestly. I don't know that it did.
But also in that scene, we learned that Bill and Diane had sex.
According to him one time. But you see Diane. I doubted that it was just
I don't know why he left her. I mean, I know I know she crazy.
Yes, Diane is a lot. So Bill wants to use their terminology, wants to mainstream. Diane ain't with that. It would never work.
It would never work. But one time. Ain't
no way. I don't believe him. Because Diane opened that door real close herself.
We also learned that the gay one who was part of the nest, I call him the gay one because I didn't catch his name. He was the oldest and the strongest of them all.
Oh, dang it, I can't remember his name. But yes, we end up seeing more of them later, yes?
Yes. I don't remember which season, but I know that we see them again. I know we see her, Diane. I definitely know we see her. And the gay one, I think the gay one ends up dying. I don't know about Diane, but I know the gay one ends up dying. I think the gay one is like sick, maybe from Hep D. I don't know, it's been so long. I gotta go back. But also we learned that vampires who live in a nest lose their humanity. Those who don't live in a nest hang on to their humanity.
Yes, just like-minded individuals.
If you have all this power, everybody else has this power. You act on the power, and it just feeds on itself. And that is fairly consistent with Interview with the Vampire.
I was about to say it's apex predators again. You don't have to hang with the likes of these people. We feed on them. They're food. But this is still episode 3. We're in Sookie. How that Sookie finds Dawn.
Okay.
Sookie finds Dawn.
Dead.
Yes. Very dead.
Just Jason as a character. Okay, so we for the most part we've gone through Sookie and Bill. So let's talk about Jason because this is a character.
Simple Jason. Jason love the ladies, and the ladies love Jason, but Jason got a problem.
Yes,
he love him a trashy twat. They do.
I don't care. I don't think he cares if it's trashy or not, as long as it's there.
And he always pays the ultimate praise. These people keep labeling you a murderer. Stop throwing people in the trailer park.
I'm sorry. Please go.
No, I'm saying maybe you won't go to jail if you stop throwing people in the trailer park.
So in this particular episode of mine, so Jason acts like, in the previous episode, Dawn keeps him handcuffed. Well, not really handcuffed, but tied to the bed. So in this particular episode, Jason, I guess he stays there all day because we don't see him until Dawn comes back home. So he has something on his head and all over his body. It's like the worst get up ever. Like you wearing silk, well not silk, but satin.
The satin roll, pantyhose over your face, satin gloves. It's like, okay, you have this sick fetish with vampires yourself.
Yes.
Because you pretend to be something you're not, and then mentioning it whenever you're trying to get in the mood, bringing up vampires. So you got a little fetish. So I'm with you with him being intrigued and a bit competitive.
And so after she realizes, by the way, she says that she knew it was Jason all along. After she realizes it was Jason, they of course have sex again. But then Jason realizes that she has been bitten by a vampire.
Oh my God. And here we go again. You keep picking the same chick, Jason. You keep picking the same chick. You got whole little terror over here that just want to give you a cookie on the platter. And you keep going to the trailer park. Women that like to get fed on by vampires. He gets really upset with the fact that she's been bitten by a vampire. But you know what I do respect about Dawn? She ain't gonna pretend to be dead. Oh no. She about to pull out that popper and get really ignorant. Like, you know what? Okay. And then she kind of comes to him like, you can't even get hard or stay hard or whatever. So she emasculates him. Wow.
Oh my God.
Pulled out on him.
Oh my God. And look, in those moments when that happens, that's the worst thing that you can say.
Because he sees a vision of the vampire that was on the tape with Marty Pickens, and he loses his erection. And I mean, I understand too. If I would see that face, I would go flaccid as well. Let's face it, that was weird. So, like, you know what? I know what it is. I'm here just to have a good time with you, and you can't even do that. Get out. You don't want to get out? Okay, I'll make you get out.
And at first, she points a gun at him. I don't know if we can say that on YouTube. She points it at him, and he refuses to go, as if this has happened before.
Yes. I guess she can't prepare this time. Don't worry. You gonna
like you gonna leave now?
Right, and then he's like, well, at least let me get my clothes on. And it's so funny seeing him. At least you get to see all those abs contracting as he's trying to jump in the pants. And I appreciated the scene; it was really nice. But she's like, I don't care about you putting your clothes on. Fires the gun again. I'm like, no, it's crazy.
Yeah.
That was really entertaining.
Very, very on a lot of different levels. On a lot of different levels. I enjoyed it. Just in general, I enjoyed every episode where he got naked.
Yeah, we saw something emerge through his clothes after he meets with our favorite neighborhood drug dealer.
It was computer generated. It was not real.
Let me dream. Let me and please, if you're really, really, really generous, let me dream in color.
A little sepia.
Oh my. Jason knows how to take himself from one downfall to another. If anybody is good at declining, it's Jason.
Okay, so still same episode, mine. Just real quick, just an aside, Sam. So there was one particular scene where Sam is doing something. I don't remember. I think he was in front of his house, and a dog runs across. Same dog that at this particular point in time, I would have sworn that was Sam as a dog. And so this dog runs across, and now I'm confused. I don't know if you can recall the very first time that you saw this, but what were you thinking when you saw that dog the first time?
Like, where does this random dog keep coming from?
Oh, at this time you weren't thinking that the dog was Sam?
No.
Okay, gotcha.
Not quite. If I'm being honest, I don't remember my mind being there. I'm just like, what is the deal with this dog? Why is it important? Then we find out later. Okay.
No, I think at that time I knew that I don't think I would have said that he was a shapeshifter, but I would have said he has the ability to become a dog. That's what I would have said.
And see, for me, I didn't have any prior knowledge of what the show would actually be, so I didn't know that there would be anything beyond vampires in the show. So my mind wasn't even there.
All right, so let's talk about Lafayette in mind. Jason goes to Lafayette asking for Viagra, but instead introduces him to me.
So, oh my, Lafayette is my favorite drug dealer. I would buy anything from him, corn, you name it. I'm gonna buy it from him. I want to support his business because he's just a great dealer. So with Lafayette, he's like, I'm not selling you no Viagra. You can get that from the drugstore. I'm like, no, I got something for you. I know exactly what you need. And he gives it to him. He's like, hey, I warn you though, you do take it. 1, maybe 2 drops. That's it. Otherwise, you're going to get some side effects and not the good kind. So I love it that he put the side effects. But hey, here's the warning label. Many other drug dealers, I'm not going to give you no warning. I'm going to sell you this drug. You're going to give him money. You're going to go on about your business. But because Lafayette is such a stand-up guy, he gives him a warning. He tells him how to take the drug. And then so Jason's like, oh, I'm going to pay you later. Lafayette like,
I want my money now.
And what does he pay him in?
Well, I got an idea. I know what you can do, Jason. Take it off.
Take it off. And oh no, don't be so full of yourself to think I just want to see you. It's even there because I'm still about my money. I put this camera on. You about to be famous and make me some books.
What is Laura Bush head on?
Ridiculous. The things you'll do for drugs.
And of course, Tara sees.
Like, I'm starting to wonder. Like, you getting hooked up with my cousin. This can't be good.
Dancing for my cousin. You dancing for my cousin.
Yeah, naked.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
Like, I just need to know. Did he know when he read for this particular script that he would be doing half the things that he did? I just need to know.
Yes, indeed. Are we referring to Lafayette or Jason?
Jason. Oh. I mean, because Jason's story is phenomenal. Jason is always at the bottom. If you think about it, he's never on top.
Look, the interest, you are not even a power bottom, just a bottom. Just a bottom. Not an apple bottom, not a power bottom. No bikini bottom, just a bottom.
No, there's no pun intended, but I mean, it's just...
Like he said, that accident, you can't help but to watch it so bad, but you invested. You just gotta keep watching it.
Anything else from this particular episode? Mine, I feel like there was so many hidden gems.
Yeah. With Lafayette in particular, with Tara, how he pretty much nurses her wounds, but not the way you think. He offers her he's 2 Vicodin, take a whole glass of wine, hit the blunt, and all this other stuff after her mom had knocked her upside her head within this episode. So we kind of get into Tara's family dynamic in this episode too, and get to see how her mom is struggling through alcohol abuse and how she's incurring some physical abuse because of that. And then you get to see big cousin extraordinaire come to the rescue by letting her kind of crash there and nursing her wounds with all the wrong drugs. But hey, it's gonna numb you out.
Yeah. And so Sam also shares a little bit about himself. He says that he's lonely and he has a hard time opening up. But because Tara asks him questions, he then continues to open up just a little bit about himself.
He opens up too. She propositions his ass.
Oh, did very direct, which I love.
Like, look, we ain't gotta fall in love. It's been months for me. It's probably been twice as long for you. Let's go. You never gotta speak of this again.
And let's do it.
This is the least romantic thing I've ever seen in my life.
It wasn't very romantic, but it was very practical.
Very realistic. Very realistic. Just, you know what? Come on.
I mean, I don't know if that's ever happened to me. I'm trying to. I ain't had none in a while. What about you? Oh, well, let's go rub this out together.
Maybe not exactly that narrative. I'm just like, I don't have nothing to do right now. You okay? Let's have a V8.
But I mean, also they were drinking. So, drinking, they're talking about their feelings. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, I agree. We had a lot of gems in this one, like you said. I agree.
Yeah. And so episode 4, Escape from Dragon House. So Sookie finds Dawn dead, and then in comes Jason and also the neighbor. Oh yeah, tell us what happened.
And poor stupid Jason Stackhouse is knee deep in another murder scandal. The neighbor is convinced that Jason has done it because the day before she saw them fighting. So it's one of those nosy neighbor mind business situations with poor Jason. But Jason gets taken into custody.
So it does, and they put him in that cop car. And what did he do?
Take a whole vial of V when he was only supposed to take 2 drops. Oh my god. When I say he should come with a warning label on his car.
But you know what? In that moment, I don't know what I would have done. I'm arrested. I'm in a cop car. I know that in addition to why I've been arrested, I have this V in my pocket. What am I going to do?
I would take 1 to 2 drops and shove the rest in that seat. So at least while I'm in jail, I can have a good high.
You know what? It is a small town, and they're not likely to find it, and they're not likely to find it right away. So you know what? That makes sense. And that's what I was thinking, but I don't know if everybody would think the way that I think. So I'm glad that you and I are on the same page.
Well, down in that whole bottle, and you on your way to the slammer. No good can come of it. It's if somebody else was in there with him, who knows what we would have seen. And then you got his sister gearing up to be a vigilante and going to Fantasia to try to clear his name. I did like that scene with she and her grandmother. The grandmother was like, Jason, he's not capable of murder. I need you to use your powers and and get him off of this. I liked that scene because she has been building Sookie up. Use your power. Your power has some good. Yes. And then she checks Grand though, wait a minute, my daddy did what? Didn't my uncle still end up killing himself though? Oh, that was years later. Yeah, I love it. Don't worry about that part. Happened the same day. He saved them when he saved them. That's all you need to know. Now go ahead and take a little behind on down that street for it. Do whatever you have to do. What else in that particular episode happened to Jason? That erection of his lifetime. Oh, Tara. When Tara comes to the police station, Tara offers an alibi for Jason. He comes in like she just finished taking her LSAT and passed the bar and everything. She's like, wait, did y'all Mirandize him? Oh, you didn't? Tell me you told him that he had a right to an attorney and all this other stuff. And they're like, okay, you're not a lawyer. Yeah, but I read. So she offers an alibi for him. She's like, hey, he was with me. We couldn't have done this. And again, yeah. I loved how she spun it. She was like, y'all act like, just because we have vampires that race is not an issue. It's still an issue. We just, we don't want to, let everybody know what's going on. But the reason he didn't tell y'all is because I asked him not to. Her story was just flying out her mouth. And I was just like. You came up with that on the spot, or did you think of that on the way over here? I love it either way. I remember, being a teenager, I could lie like that. I can't lie like that anymore. I can't do that. Can't do it. It's gonna require so many brain cells. Ooh, and to keep up with the lies. My goodness. He gets him a tight alibi. Speaking of Tara and this alibi, there was a scene when she goes back to Marlotte's, whatever it's called, and she talks to Sam. She tells Sam what she decided to do. She was just straightforward. Boom. You ain't got to worry about it. We don't need to talk about the sex that we had last night because I went to the police and I told them that I slept with Jason. So you ain't got to say nothing. Oh, Sam, he get the short end of the stick. He another one. For unfortunate soul.
Go play with your little bones somewhere.
Double entendre. There's Sam I am.
But okay, so after Sookie talks to her grandmother, she has a conversation with Bill, and they decide to go to Fantasia, as you said. And so of course they go. And what happened at Fantasia?
Sookie literally walk up in there looking like a snake, looking all green and everything else. So they are allowed to go into Fantasia, but they are summoned by Eric and Pam.
Your God. Well, you know what? People don't talk about Pam, but Pam, she is just so sexy.
Pam's a hottie yaddy yaddy. I love me some Pam.
Yeah, and very, very straightforward about everything. Everything.
And loyal.
Yes.
Straightforward and loyal. I love Pam. But yeah, they are summoned. So Sookie is doing her little investigation, and Eric is like, okay, look, this is my place. You got questions? Don't be going around asking my people. You come to me. And I'm like, you tell them, babe. Come straight to the source. So you get to kind of see some of Eric's, very, very asshole-ish nature. Like, look at the pictures. I refused this one. She was way too desperate for me. Now this other one, I tasted them. It's just like, who's out here? Like, dang. They even blinking. It must have been real mid. Like, oh, I tasted them.
And so Sookie wants to leave, and Eric is like, nope.
I see. You too, Bill. Sit your ass down. Right.
And so they sit, and then Sookie realizes what?
Sookie is able to hear these thoughts, and she is hearing that it's about to go down. There's a raid that's about to happen. So before you know it, because Sookie being kind of special, she just blurts it out. She just blurts it out. And Bill is looking like,
you dumb motherfucker.
Like, oh my goodness. So moments after she blurts out like, that guy is a cop, everything starts getting raided. Eric and Pam do get a chance to escape, and so do Sookie and Bill. They get out of there as well. But it's like, I know, I feel kind of bad for Bill, because it's like, you with this person that got the equivalent of clairvoyant Tourette's, and she can't help herself. And she's, as far as you know at this point, human. Like, my goodness, you don't know when to shut up.
It is too much. It is too much. It is too much. It's like, on one hand, they want to make Sookie smart, but on the other, it's like she's just naive and just like, come on, girl, I need you to get with it. You need to be one or the other.
An idiot savant, a learned fool, whatever. It's just like, either way, like, my goodness, you're dumb. You and your brother.
Especially him.
I was like,
what did Tara tell him? I forget what he said. And she said, no, we already knew.
I'm gonna have to start writing down Tara and Lafayette's clips, because they come with it. Like, oh my goodness, you can just rely on them to give you something that you could use for lifetimes. Like, my goodness.
Okay. So after Jason takes the V, he gets out of jail. Tara helps him get out of jail. We see him at home, and he's
he is running a marathon on his costume.
And back to back.
So when he gets a blister between his index and his thumb, oh my goodness. And what does he say later? It's like I got gout. Oh my. So it's where even the doctor, when he gets to the doctor, it's like, oh, it's like a swollen eggplant. The doctor gets scared. Like, oh, yeah. Like, I wanted to do something less radical, like, shoving this needle in there. Like, that's the least radical? Yes.
I wrote, Jason gets a needle stuck in his dick.
Oh, Father. And in true Jason form, you would expect that to happen to Jason.
Yes.
What I didn't expect was for Tara to try to be like, no, I'm good. I don't need to see everything. I'm trying to leave. And he turned into an entire baby. Like, please don't leave me. He wanted her to basically hold his skin. And it's like, Tara, you the hardest thing walking, Tara.
Yep.
Don't get squeamish now.
You already seen it. You already know. So Tara takes him home. And as she's driving, she has a flashback to a moment when Jason helps her, which is probably the moment when she fell in love with Jason. You want to tell that moment?
Yeah. She has this flashback of when she was a child, and she was basically being chased by her mom because her mom was in a drunken rage. And she runs over to the Stackhouses because they're like a family. And Jason answers the door, lets her in to her safe haven. And the mom tries to come in, and Jason pretty much turns from this little boy to this grown man protector in that moment. Like, hey, you can't come in here. And at the time, she's cursed Tara out and trying to beat on her because she poured out her Captain Morgan. or whatever, and Jason's getting all sporty at the mouth, like, hey, I can call the sheriff, and I bet you they don't have no Captain Morgan in jail. So at any rate, he saves her from her mom. So you can kind of see that moment being really sweet and him being like a hero to her.
Mm-hmm. And so after that, right now we're just jumping. But after Fantasia, Bill is driving Sookie back home, and I guess they're becoming close again. And before they kiss, sirens go off, police stop them, and basically, in my mind, Bill terrorizes the police officer so much that he pisses on himself.
This was one of my favorite scenes with Bill. And I could not have fallen in love with him any more than I did in that scene, because it was believable. It was scary as all get out. Like, it was very dark because you see Bill trying to be this stand-up mainstream guy and all these other things. So to see him be that apex predator and kind of play the mind game, it was really good. Like, hey, he ultimately gets the police officer to give him his gun. And like you said, the man pisses on himself because he's terrified, when they do actually leave. So Sookie is sitting there for the first time in her natural born life actually being quiet. Okay. Because she's probably scared at how Bill is acting. So I did appreciate her shutting her ass up in that moment. I did. Just let him do what he do. But that let me know it's like, okay, Bill knows he is definitely an apex predator. These are the things that I'm capable of doing. I choose not to do these things because I want to have, redemption. I'm trying to live right.
So do you think it was really because the police officer called him? What do you call him? A boy? Mm-hmm. Do you think that's why Bill really acted the way that he did? Or was it just he's a damn vampire and it's bound to come out? He's been tamed too much and he's got to let it out every now and then.
I don't think it was because it was cowboy. I think he is fooling himself on most days, and you have taken just about enough out of everybody today, and this was the last straw, and you needed to get it out. Mm-hmm. I think that's exactly what happened. Like, nope, I'm a monster. Remind people of it.
I'm a monster. Oh, there's a song. I'm a monster.
Yeah.
All right, so Sam goes to Dawn's house. Obviously, Dawn is the one who died. He goes to Dawn's house, and in an earlier scene, we realize that it's Sam who is renting that house to Dawn. And so the police ask for the keys to her, not to her house, but to her storage or whatever. And he pulls out the keys. Now, I didn't make a connection earlier on, and I might not have made the connection when I first saw this, but this time as I was watching it, I was like, oh, dang, Sam could have been a person of interest.
Yes. When I first saw this, I was like, did he kill her? And now he's went back to the scene to do some weird stuff. This is before, again, we know what type of supernatural being Sam is. I'm like, was he sleeping? I was thinking all kind of things. Was he sleeping with her? Like, what is going on to where he's laying in his dead girl's bed, rolling sheets and smelling on her stuff? I didn't think it was cute. I didn't think it was sexy. I was confused.
All kinds of confused. He's just a ball of confusion.
My goodness, it was disturbing to watch. Like, and I mean, he getting in there too.
He was. It was like he was jacking off.
What did you put on the gloves for? If you clearly is dating this girl, be rolling around your hair, you could have left the gloves off for all of that you just did. And ain't nobody see you with that nosy ass neighbor. Nobody see you go in there.
Mm-mm. Oh, you know what? Another thing. First time that I saw it, I didn't make a connection that Renee lived right across the street from Dawn. Didn't realize it.
His accent is one of the ones that drives me crazy. What you gonna do?
I bet he's from Australia too.
Well, look at you. That's what they're talking on Louisiana.
But at least he's from that part of Louisiana that's supposed to have that accent. But I don't know too many people who really do have that accent anymore.
My goodness. But I didn't catch it either. I didn't realize that Renee lived right across. Arlene sure didn't have any remorse about the girl being dead. Talking about, like, picture her just, well, she would do this right now and not come to work. The girl is dead.
It's so funny. I miss True Blood. I want them to have.
Look, can we do a remake and not ruin it? But yeah, it's an awesome show.
It really was, and I actually love recapping it with you. It's really good, especially because I haven't seen it in like over 10 years. So yeah,
I don't know if it's been 10, but it's been a minute.
Well, as always, thank you all so very much for joining us. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, have a good one.